Hello and welcome. In this particular class, we are going to be discussing how to operate an effective photography business. And this is all about knowing your value, okay? Knowing what to charge and how to pay yourself. So before we dive in, I want to introduce myself. My name is Brooke Jefferson. I'm a wife and mama to two, currently residing in Southwest Oklahoma. Boomer Sooner for all of my Okies. I have been a family photographer for a little over 8 years. I'm also a photography business coach and a podcast host for 3.5 of those years. So I have a photography business podcast called Book More Clients Photography Podcast, where you can binge hours upon hours of photography education for your business. And the quote that I chose as my favorite, although cliche, it means so much to me, is to live today as if it's your last. And when you're someone that has experienced a lot of loss, you cling to this quote and you show up differently in your life, in your relationships, and in your business. So in today's class, we are going to be talking about two different things. One is how to calculate your cost of doing business, or better known as, hey, Brooke, what the heck do I charge for my services? We're going to dive into that, as well as I'm going to teach you how to pay yourself as a photographer, especially when you might not be making consistent income from month to month. Your numbers might always be changing. Your sales might be different. So I'm going to show you how I pay myself and how I teach other photographers to pay themselves as well. So today I am teaching you my pricing for profit formula. This is a formula that I created. It works for everyone, for any type of business out there. So you're going to need 3 key pieces to be able to plug in your numbers and make this work for you. The first number that you need, so if you want to get a pen and paper, I highly recommend you do so. So number 1 is your profit goal number. So in essence, I want to know how much money do you want to profit each month in your photography business? Okay. What do you actually want to write yourself a check for to deposit in your personal bank account? That is question number 1. Write down that number. And this is on a monthly basis. Okay. The second number that you're going to need is your total amount of expenses. So what does it cost you to run your business? This is going to help us understand the bare minimum that you need coming into your business on a month-to-month basis, just so you can keep your lights on, just so you can say, I'm open for business. So these are things that you're paying for on a monthly basis that, regardless if you book a session or not, still have to be paid. So for some of you, that's studio rent, it's your utilities, it's your Irisworks subscription, your gallery hosting subscription, the list goes on. Anything that is directly related to your photography business that has to be paid, rain or shine, sessions or no sessions, I want you to total that up and write the total amount of expenses number per month as your second number. And then finally, the third number you're going to need to plug into this formula is your availability. So this number plays a crucial role in the formula. How many sessions can you take on per month realistically? Sometimes photographers like to get a little too brave and say, I would like 20 sessions a month. But do you actually have time to take on 20 sessions, edit 20 sessions, drive to 20 session locations? The list goes on top of being a wife, mama, and all the other hats that you wear? Probably not. So I like to say anywhere between 2 sessions to 15. 15 max is pretty good for almost all of us. Now, if you're a wedding photographer, your number is going to be a lot lower. Maybe your goal is 1 wedding a month, 2 weddings a month, maybe it's 4. So you choose what that is for you. This will work for everyone. Okay, so now that you have those numbers, let's plug them into this formula. So step number 1, you're going to take that monthly profit goal that you wrote down, your very first number, and you're going to add it with your second number, which was your total monthly expenses. Add those two numbers together. And in this example, we chose $800 as a profit goal for this photographer. and she's currently paying about $100 worth of monthly expenses. So when you add that together, you get $900. Okay. Then in step 2, you're going to take that number that you just got and you are going to multiply it by a percentage, your tax savings percentage. Here's one mistake that I've seen photographers make, and that is they're not setting aside any money for taxes. And so then they're getting surprised, or they're like, oh my gosh, I owe for taxes. I didn't know. Now you know. And you will always be able to figure out how much you're going to owe ahead of time. It's never meant to be a surprise. So a safe number, okay, this is friendly advice, not legal advice, but I've worked with many bookkeepers, many CPAs, and here is the safe number. 25% to 30% is what you should be setting aside every month in your business, okay? So in this example, I just chose the highest safe percentage of 30%. So we took the sum from step 1, the $900, and then we plugged it into a calculator. We multiplied it by 0.30, which means 30%, and we got $270. Okay, so $270, if I'm bringing it right, if I'm wanting to hit my profit goal, $270 has to be set aside for taxes. Okay. Step 3 is just to add step 1's number and step 2's number together. So my profit plus my expenses was $900, and now I'm adding that to what my tax savings amount is, which was $270, to give me a grand total of $1,170. What does that number mean? That number means that is the amount of sales, of sessions of money that you need to come through your business in order to write yourself a check every month for that $800. So whatever your number is, that is how much you actually need to come into your business. You'll notice it's more than your profit goal, and that's how business works, right? Okay, so moving on, we're not done yet. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take that number that you just got, your gross sales, this is how much income I need coming through my business. Now we're going to divide that number by the amount of sessions you can take on a month. Remember that third piece? You're now going to take that third number. So take the number you just got, $1,170, divided by this photographer can take on 8 sessions a month. So that comes out to $146.25. Now, that's a weird number. We would never price a session or a package or anything at that number. And so you want to remember for step 5 to always just round up. Just round the number up to the nearest whole number. And I typically would do this in like $25 increments. Okay. So if you get 117, you could start at 125 or really push yourself at 150. Okay. So this number, what does this number tell us? This number is telling you your base price. This is where you're going to start your pricing. Okay. This is like the lowest package. It's going to be this much because that is the bare minimum you need to make that profit goal. Take the emotion out of it. Some of you are going to be hyperventilating. You're going to be like, no way can I do that. Yes, you can. You can do it. And some of you are going to be like, I'm spot on, right where I'm meant to be. That's amazing. Okay. What you would do at this point is you would build your packages from this starting number so that you could continue to hit your profit goal. So this is something that I teach in my programs and all that good stuff. But for you, this gives you a really good starting point to figure out where's my baseline. And now I know where to start and I can build packages. Okay. All right. So now we're going to move into the second part of today's class, which is how in the world do I begin to pay myself, right? So here's how you pay yourself as a photographer. First of all, you are going to track and you are going to keep up with your taxes, okay? So number 1, track. You're going to sit down once a month and you're going to go over your business bank statements. You're going to input them into a spreadsheet. So what you're going to do is there is a spread. You can create a spreadsheet, however you want to do this. All you need to do is you need to have a column of all of the income for your business, Okay. So everything that came in that month. So you're going to write down every client you had, how much they paid you, or the type of package that was booked and how much you got paid for that. Okay. And then you're going to also, your expenses, same thing on the other side. How much money went out of your business? What was it for? How much? Okay. You're looking at, here's what came in, here's what went out, what's left over. That's all you're looking for. Okay. The next part of this is taxes. So next, you're going to review how you did for the month, and then you're going to transfer that tax percentage amount that we talked about earlier and make sure that gets put away in a savings account so you don't spend it. So when it's time to either pay quarterly taxes or annual taxes, whatever you choose to do for your business, you've already got the money. Like, you already know where the money's coming from, how you're paying for that tax bill. All right. Then you're also going to budget, and then you're going to pay yourself. So what does budgeting mean? So budget means with the amount left over, you're going to refer to your business budget, which I'm going to show you in just a second, so that you can allocate the correct funds to the right places. So we have to learn how to manage our money. We have to know what's coming in, what's going out. Are we overspending to where we're actually stealing from our own pockets? That is very easy to do, especially when you get shiny object syndrome and you're trying to build this amazing client closet, but you're not booking enough clients to use it. We have to be very mindful of where our money is going, and are we stealing from ourselves? Okay. Then the next part, the last part here, is you would pay yourself. So you're going to transfer the amount that you set to pay yourself from your business checking into your personal checking. So you're doing a digital paycheck. You're saying, hey, amazing, I made $750, almost made what I wanted to this month. And so I'm going to just deposit it into my personal bank account. All right. You are your own boss. No one's going to pay you but yourself. So if you don't pay you, you're not getting paid, right? You're not getting paid. Okay. So let's go a little bit deeper with this. So I use a percentage business budget because I know from month to month that my income is going to look different. I even know that some of my expenses might look different. Okay. So here's how I allocate what to do with all of the money that comes in, right? So the expenses have already been accounted for at this time, right? I've already paid for all my expenses. This is what's left over. All right. This is what's left over. So 40%, I pay myself on 40% of what's left over. That's my paycheck. 10% of that goes to giving. This could be to charity, a tithe, whatever you believe in. 20% is going to get transferred to a savings account so that the next time I really need it, or if the next time I want to do something totally epic or hire a coach, I can pull it from savings. 10% goes into education. So those of you that want to take a course, you could save up for it, and then you know exactly how you're paying for that. Coaching, all those things. And then 20% is just going to stay in the business account, just so that when your expenses start coming out the next month, they're covered from what's already in your business account. Okay. All right. So let's break this down with numbers. This is the last final step. And then you're going to be set up for success here. Okay. So here's what this looks like. So if your income, your total amount of income was $2,800 that month, and your expenses were $500, we're subtracting that. The profit, what's left over, is $2,300. Okay. So from that $2,300, 30% of that has to go to taxes. We're setting it aside for tax savings. So that's $690. Okay. Out of the $2,300. So now we have $1,610 left over. Now we go look at the business budget. 40% of that number becomes the paycheck. So she's paying herself $644 this month. 10% goes to giving. So she is giving away $161 this month. She has 10% set aside for education. So she's got $161 to go towards that. She's putting 20% in her savings, which comes out to $322. And then she's keeping $322 in her business account. It's that simple. The hardest part about this is it's not the numbers, it's the discipline to stick with this and to really put on that CEO hat. You guys are artists first. You're an artist first. You're a creative first, right? You didn't pick up the camera and start thinking of all the business things, the marketing, the numbers, the tax. Like you never thought about that. You just thought, man, I love this. I really want to become the best photographer I can be because this lights me up. So you are an artist first and a business owner second. But it's so crucial if you want to have a lasting, profitable, and sustainable business that you also put on your CEO hat. This is why businesses fail, because people don't put on the CEO hat. They're not diligent with this. They don't pay attention. And then they wonder why am I not hitting my goals? Why have I not been paid in 6 months? It all comes back to you. Okay, so I hope that this training helped you identify what you need to be charging, what's that baseline, and then how to actually pay yourself on a percentage-based system. All right, get after it, stay diligent, stay the course, and I am cheering you on in your photography business.